Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Performance in Motion with your host, Dr. Deniz.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our third segment, again with Dr. Ken Blanchard, leadership expert, and Dr. Neal Nybo, kindness and leadership experts. Gentlemen, this has been unbelievably so far. What a gift it's been. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, what else is there out there, guys? I don't even know. Anyway, yes, let's get into, you guys both have tremendous experience. I'm already learning just from this show. I'm sure the folks out there are doing the same. I would like to know, what are you guys working on right now? What are you collaborating with?
Well, Deniz, let me jump in. I'm the beginner, the novice on this, but Ken has been incredibly gracious to me to allow me to be a contributor to a new book that he's been editing. I'll let him talk about how many different people are in it. It's unbelievable, the people that he knows. I told you earlier, he has everybody's number in his phone book. He called them all and said, I want to get your expertise on servant leadership. Wow. And he was gracious enough to let me add a chapter to that. But Ken, talk about this amazing book. And you said that it's more than a book, it's a movement.
Yes, when people have asked me at my age of 78 what I want my legacy to be, and I said it's really servant leadership, because all the problems in the world, I think, are from self-serving leaders who think it's all about them and their friends and all that kind of thing. And so a bunch of us had kind of started a servant leadership foundation to try to pull together conferences and things like that. And so I said we ought to have a book that we can pull together. And so I started to say, get a readings book. But most readings books, I found, the articles are too long, and there's, it doesn't move and flow. And so I decided to have the best people I could find write 5 or 6 page articles about what do they think about servant leadership and from different aspects. And it was great to have Neal there, and I have some other faith-based, like Craig Rochelle from Oklahoma City, who's got 50,000 in his congregation, and Miles McPherson, who has the Do Something, not Do Nothing church here in San Diego, and Phyllis Henry, who runs our Lead Like Jesus ministry.
Erwin McManus.
Erwin McManus from Mosaic. It's just a great group. But then I also have, people like Marshall Goldsmith, who's really top guy in coaching, and Patrick Lencioni, and Kouzis and Posner, and Francis Hesselbaum, and even got Dave Ramsey to write an article.
Wow. I know him.
Laurie Beth Jones. And then I was able to get the 2 hottest folks in the field, Brene Brown, who's done a lot of stuff on her TED Talk on vulnerability, is seen by millions of people. And then Simon Sinek, who started, his first book was, Start With Why. And, so it really is. And I sent it up to Steve Parasante from Barrett Kohler, because most publishers don't like readings books. And he called me back immediately. He said, this isn't a book, Ken, this is a movement. And I think that's what we're really hoping with this network of people, that we can get the word around the world about this is the only way to get great results and great human interaction. And so I was glad to get Neal involved, because he's always thinking about new things and new ways to do things. And so that's what we wanted to have. And so
Awesome.
Some people are really well known, other people are on their way.
Right.
So it's exciting. It's a most amazing project I've done. And Renee Broadwell, who was one of my editors, she done so much work that Steve said she has to be a co-editor on the front of the book, and she is, and she's thrilled.
Awesome. Neal?
Well, my chapter is called The Puddle Is Not the Problem, and it's some of the foundational work that I do in all of my transitional ministry and working with organizations, because organizations oftentimes have hidden problems. They're the things they're not dealing with. No one wants to talk about it. You could call it the elephant in the room, but sometimes people don't even know what the elephant is.
True.
And yet there are all these little problems. Maybe people don't trust each other very well, or maybe there's always a problem down in HR or down in accounting, or there's always something and you keep cleaning up the little problems. Maybe there's communication issues. My point is, all of those are symptomatic. They are secondary problems. There is a primary, a hidden, what I call a cabinet issue, that it's the thing that causes all the symptomatic problems. And a servant leader, because like we talked about at the beginning, they care about their people. It's not about looking good. It's not about themselves. If there's a genuine concern or issue, we have to get the image that I use, we have to get the cabinet doors open, is what I was about to say. The image is of a kitchen that you walk into and there's a puddle on the floor in front of the sink. Nobody thinks that puddle is the problem. You got to clean that problem up. But everybody knows the problem is under the sink. There's a leak under the sink.
Yes.
You have to get into the cabinet. So I talk about that the puddle is not the problem. It is the leak under the sink. And servant leaders are the ones who say, folks, this isn't going to be easy necessarily, but we've got to really address the real challenges in our organization. So I'm just thrilled to be a part of a book that is going to make such a difference. So,
and it's interesting, Dennis, when I talk about servant leadership, a lot of people in business think we're talking about the inmates running the prison or trying to please everybody or some kind of religious movement. They don't understand that there's two parts of servant leadership. The leadership part is vision, direction, and goals. Leadership is about going somewhere. If people don't know where you want to take them and what the goals are, they're not going to get there. So that's the leadership part. And the traditional pyramid is responsible for making sure that vision and direction and goals are clear. Doesn't mean they don't involve people and all. But once that's clear, then the great servant leadership philosophically turns the pyramid upside down. And now they work for their people, who eventually work for the customers, because your job is to help them accomplish their goals.
Right.
Whereas self-serving leaders, they want to keep the traditional pyramid alive on implementation too, so everybody's sucking up the hierarchy and all. And then when you're talking to a frontline person about a problem, they can't solve it, so they're ducks, quack, quack. I just work here, quack, quack. I didn't make the problem, quack. Do you want to talk to my supervisor, quack, quack, quack. We call the supervisory duck the head mallard, because they just quack at a higher level. And so that's not where, if you go to Nordstrom's, what's their philosophy? No problem. A friend of mine went to get some perfume for his wife at Nordstrom, and the gal said, "We don't sell that here, but I know where I can get it in the mall. How long are you going to be in the store?" He said, "About another half hour." He said, "Good.
Wow.
I'll go get the perfume you need and bring it back," and gift wrapped it. And he came back, and she had gift wrapped it and gone and got it. And she charged him the same price that she had paid at the other store. So Nordstrom didn't make any money, but what did they make? They made a customer.
Wow.
right.
And so it's that
A
philosophy.
raving
I
fan.
remember my daughter Debbie worked for Nordstrom's when she was in college, and she came home and she said, "Dad, I got a strange boss." I said, "What's strange about him?" He said, "About 3 or 4 times a day, he says to me, 'Debbie, is there anything I can do to help you?' She said, 'He acts like he works for me.' I said, 'He does.'"
Absolutely.
And that's what servant
Right.
leaders, and that's why they still are in retail top, and they do that, at Southwest Airlines. That's why they're only ones that make any money. And Disney and Wegmans in the grocery business, and Synovus in financial services.
When you hear Ken, he knows all these people. He knows the examples of these servant leadership organizations, and he can draw on all of that. And it just boggles my mind that there are still leaders that they think that blame and looking for somewhere else to cast the blame and say it's somebody else's problem, that's a successful model. I'm grateful that I'm not in an industry that requires that of me.
Right. I see a lot of parallels with the principles that you both are sharing in the same way. Without a proper assessment of the situation or the person or the group of people, how can you be successful? How can you develop an accurate plan that will work for either the individual or the group? Here's a saying that I quoted from, I was looking at something online, and it said, if you don't assess, you're just guessing. And isn't that the parallel of basically everything we've been talking about on this program? There has to be a systematic way of determining what the actual problem is, not the secondary or tertiary problems. What is the source? What is the mechanism? And that we could say that for anything. So I truly feel that you guys are the experts in your fields because of your diagnostic abilities. And with that, since it's accurate, your relationships are solid, they're productive, people feel value.
But that's what you do, though, Dennis, because you analyze where people are and set some goals. And then once that's been done, I see you as going to the servant part of servant leadership. You're there for the client, you know?
Sir.
And, it's not all about you. It's about them. And I think that's what really makes the difference.
Well, thank you again for the acknowledgement, and I'm very humbled by having, two gentlemen here that are not just, people I've met at the church, but have become my friends. And, I'm not going to get emotional. I said that last time on the show, so I'm going to keep a straight, tough exterior here. Yeah, you're tough. Yeah, well, you guys are tough. That's why you're here. So we have a few seconds left in this segment, and in our last segment, I want the folks to hear what you guys do as far as working out, eating right, and getting ready for the holidays. This is Dr. Deniz with Performance in Motion, WSRadio.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, CEO and founder of VinVillage.com and the Wine and Dine Show on Vin Village Radio. Do you have a wine, event, product, or service to promote? Then contact VinVillage.com to reach thousands of wine lovers across the country. VinVillage connects like-minded wine enthusiasts with unique and exclusive wines, events, products, and services. To learn more, contact us on VinVillage.com. VinVillage is where wine lovers connect.
Life is full of misadventures, from car crashes to home fires to getting choked out on the mat. Yes, I said getting choked out because I'm Carlos Kramer, jiu-jitsu competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
You've heard me bragging about Progressive Medical Center and how they've helped me feel so much healthier. But one thing, Dr. Agoli, that a lot of people come to you with is just unexplained pain. They just can't get any relief. Why can Progressive Medical Center's Pain Management Center help them?
First of all, we have to acknowledge that pain is for real, and you've got acute pain and chronic pain. Here's the problem. That acute pain turns to chronic, which is long-standing, and no one's getting to the root cause. There's several key diagnostic components that help us get to the root of what's causing this pain. Is it inflammation? Once we do a thorough evaluation to get the root cause, determine if it's structural or if it's a metabolic issue. And this way, we put an individualized program for pain management involving correcting the spine, using certain injections when necessary, and we get our patients out of pain quicker, and they stay out of pain because we teach them how to live their life well.
Don't let yourself live in pain any longer. Get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today at ProgressiveMedicalCenter.com.
Progressive Medical, this is your life, live it well.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's It's very easy. WSRadio.com.